Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Rosalie. I'm a convert to Islam. And as a convert to Islam, I want to say I know how hard Ramadan is. It is very difficult. Maybe you've been doing Ramadan for a long time and you've forgotten how hard it is and you find it easy. Some people that happens, habituation happens where your body gets used to it and it just becomes easy. But it's actually a very difficult thing to do. It's actually a very radical thing to do. What are the benefits? Why are we doing this? There are lots of reasons, but I'm going to share some really profound reasons in this video. One thing that's so amazing about Ramadan is it really teaches us the power of being human. It takes all those limiting beliefs away and it says, you know what? You are capable of not eating and drinking. You are capable of looking after your family and working. You are capable of doing more prayers. You are capable of having less sleep. You are absolutely capable of doing all of these things. That you need this thing, you need that thing. By the way, I do believe self-care is a real thing, but I do believe that we are taught to take it too fast and that companies make profit. We are absolutely able to do those things. Ramadan takes us on a journey inwards. It helps us realize that the enemy is not on the outside, it's on the inside, it's our egos. And fasting absolutely destroys the ego and it really breaks you and then builds you back up and makes you again. And I feel like this is why Allah has this month for us. I feel like the Quran is so important in our religion and all the intellectual benefits, the emotional benefits. I mean, it's an amazing book that has been sent by Allah to improve us, to make us from the best of people. But I feel like Ramadan is the practical exercise. It's putting it all into practice. It's, do you actually have sabr? You need to do Ramadan. Can you not eat and drink for an entire day? Can you hold your speech? Do you actually have shukr? Allah tells us in the Quran that if we are grateful, He increases us in what we're grateful for. And if we are ungrateful, He increases us in what we're ungrateful for. Are we able to practice shukr? Shukr, another really important concept in Islam. I mean, Ramadan, okay, I'm just going to say this. Ramadan is full of gratitude. You wouldn't think that. You would think Ramadan is so tough and it makes you so like, I hate the world. It does not do that to you at all, at all. It makes you so grateful because when you get that food, when you get that water, you are so grateful. You are so grateful that Allah's given you the ability to do these things that you didn't know you could do. The more prayer, the less sleep, the holding back against your desires. And when you realize you can do those things, you become absolutely unstoppable. I think when I first became Muslim, I was so shocked at the state of some of the Muslims because when I read the Quran, when I did Ramadan for the first time, when I learned about Islam, I thought, wow, Muslims really must be the greatest humans in the world to be able to do all these things, to be able to abstain from all their desires, memorizing entire Quran. Their brains must have amazing memories. They must be able to have so much discipline and be able to fight against their desires, which then allows them to achieve whatever goals they need to achieve and to build these amazing lives of purpose and benefit and abundance. But sadly, obviously, that's not the case for a lot of people. But I do believe we can all tap into that. If we really, really, really dedicate ourselves to the religion, we can definitely tap into that power. I mean, look at Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When I first started learning about fasting, read this, and I looked into what did Muhammad do, peace be upon him. And the way he did it, he would hardly sleep. He would be eating like literally a date. I was like, wow, if a human being can do this, he is a human being, he's a prophet, but he's still a human being. If a human being can do this, it opens my mind more to the fact that I can do way more than what I realized. It gives me so much power and so much aspiration. And the discipline that fasting gives you, that it teaches you, you are able. I mean, discipline to me is not just getting rid of your desires at all in order to do what you need to do in the moment. It's about putting those desires into the future. So either putting them into the future later at a different time or just not having them at all. So for example, for fasting, it's not you're never going to eat and drink ever again. It's I'm going to put my desires for food and hunger into the future so I can achieve my goals now. And having that, learning that skill is absolutely invaluable to achieving anything. And it's so hard to feel pride when you are hungry and thirsty. It absolutely destroys your ego. There is no doubt about that. One of the best ways to destroy your ego is fasting. And this whole concept of being able to delay instant gratification, put things into the future. If you can learn this, it's not just beneficial in dunya in the sense of being able to achieve things, really beneficial in terms of what Allah wants from us and what Allah teaches us, and that's Jannah. The entire concept of Jannah is putting your lower level desires, your nafsi desires to do negative things, to completely get rid of them so that you can achieve goodness in the next life. That's the whole point of it. That discipline, the discipline it takes for you to be someone that goes to Jannah, especially for you to be someone that gets a high level of Jannah. Our entire life is built on discipline, on Allah training us for something in the future. So if you can master Ramadan, then you can master getting into Jannah, inshallah. And fasting reminds us, it really reminds us how vulnerable we are and how much we need Allah for nourishment. There's this amazing story, this poem, really famous, you probably have heard it, of the crying baby. There's this new mum and she has a crying baby, and it's crying. If she can't get it to stop crying, so she gives it all these different things and it won't stop crying, and she thinks, oh, you know what I'll do? I'll take it to the most expensive sweet shop in town and I'll get the best sweets ever and it's going to stop crying. She gives them to the baby and the baby's still crying. And then suddenly the fitra kicks in and she realizes, oh, the baby needed milk, and she gives it milk and it stops crying. This is comparable to us and our constant need for outside sources to come in and change the state of our soul when really we're just craving Allah. And we turn to Allah in our most broken moments. Ramadan breaks us and we turn to Allah and Allah rebuilds us. As an ending note, I really want to remind you guys that if you're not fasting in Ramadan for very legit reasons, there are still lots of ways you can maximize Ramadan. Give up all the other things like ill speech, things like that. You can increase your ibadah. You can increase reading Quran. Make sure you're finishing the whole Quran. You can increase in dhikr. You can increase in good deeds, charity, everything. Still participate to the best of your ability if you're not fasting. I absolutely urge everybody. Inshallah, you learned something from this video. If you learned something really profound, share it in the comments. Let me know what you think. Thank you guys for watching. Assalamu alaikum.